Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. With great power as a man. Now, I didn't want to use the full statement in the title that, got from the Spider-Man theme and everything. With great power comes responsibility. But with great power as a man, you do have some responsibility. As a man, see, a real man got a sense of power. A real man got power because a real man is going to have some control over his life. Now, yeah, this could kind of go in with my Sovereign Saturday stuff, but as I've been saying, I'm going to be speaking more on just manhood, and not just man gets woman. I done told you everything on man gets woman. But a big issue is men being men. But understand, as a man, you got great power. As a man, you got great responsibility. Because think about one thing as a man. A man is going to take control over his life. A man's going to expand his territory. A man, if necessary, will be able to whip someone's ass, or at least let them know they've been in a fight. Let me talk about that for a second, because sometimes I say that, some guys talk, well, I don't need that. No. The main thing a man is a warrior. And you never know when you're going to have to stand up as one, particularly if it's protecting your family. So you got that. A man solves problems. So when stuff is happening, a man isn't going to sit around and just talk about it. That's a woman's nature. Our nature is to solve problems, And if you can't solve that problem, you got to question your own manhood. See, we ain't going to sit around and say, oh, this, and this. That's why I don't have any respect for guys who just sit around and talk. I'm like, okay, what's your solution? Only talking you should be doing is like discussing a problem and a possible solution. That's the only conversation it needs to be about that problem. How you gonna solve it? Not just it exists and like, oh, well, yeah, it exists and we ain't gonna do anything. Figure out something. It don't have to be, it might not be the correct solution, but at least it's a start. Because if that solution don't work, and then you get back and talk and then figure out something else. And then a man, look, I know women making their own money and everything, but a man need to be hunting for himself. He need to be able to take care of himself, And then I'm gonna tell you what, the least of it is actually the man being that lover and everything. That's a good thing, but shoot, you get some men, they can do that, but none of the other stuff. But you got power as a man, because think about it. Every man got a boundary. As you expand your power, your connections, as you use your knowledge, you get to move through the world in such a way where you're making an impact. You moving through the world with authority. You got power and responsibility because you also responsible for what the consequences of your actions, because you created something. And you got to use it wisely. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. Because unfortunately, you do have some evil men. They stomp on other people's rights. They hurt other people. But as a man, that's unacceptable. That really is unacceptable. Because a man is supposed to be a protector, protecting those around him. A man is supposed to be a leader, leading those around him. Providing for those around him, healing those around him. The house of the man in its full glory, And you just got to embrace it. See, I'm going to tell you what. One of the things I can't stand is when a man looks towards another man to solve his problems. Or they looking outside of themselves to solve their problems. And then I have a real problem when you even point this out, you get some pushback. Like, oh, it's this or that. That's weakness to me. That's weakness, Or blaming everything outside of himself for his issues. Yeah, there's some other people outside of you who's doing something, who tried, but you allowed them to do it. I always say, you throw me in a hole, I ain't gonna sit there and blame and look up and say, hey, you threw me in this hole. I'll be like, okay, you got a head start, because I'm climb up there and plant my foot up your ass. And that's just the thing right there. That is the thing. Because you gotta, as a man, you gotta understand your power and what you can do. But the key to that too is to know that you are a man and to step up as a man, to stand up as a man. And then understand the great power and responsibility comes with that. Because I'm going to be real, there's a lot of stuff I could talk about on here just to make that money, but then that would cause some destruction. And I know some people might say, well, some of the stuff you're saying is causing something. Well, it needs to happen because all my shit is about a man standing up. If somebody have a problem with that, then that's their own weakness within. That's why I get mad when I hear that term toxic masculinity. Because a lot of times it's pointed towards men who are just standing up. And then nobody's complaining about it when, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, there's a sound downstairs, somebody just broke into your house. Nobody's complaining about it then. Or somebody, a woman or some or children need defense against somebody coming against them. I don't hear that toxic then. Then that's when you want them to be all gully about it. You want them to be rough about it. And even then, even in how you fight, shoot, there's some responsibility what you do. Because understanding your own power, understanding your own abilities. I want y'all to really think about that as men. I want you to think about it. And then if you say, well, how can I be more masculine and everything? Well, first thing is just responsibility. You got responsibility over what you do. You got responsibility over your choices. Regardless of what you're doing for a living, you actually got responsibility for it. Let me speak on that for a second. Because a lot of guys say, well, I don't like my job. I don't like this or what I have to do. Okay, so what are you doing to get a better job? What are you doing? What are you doing to get a business or something? What are you doing to make money? What are you doing? Nobody has an obligation. No one on this planet got an obligation to hire you or to give you money. No one. So what are you doing to get it? What are you giving in exchange for that money? You. If you want some job you don't like, who's making you stay on that job? You don't have to be on that job. I mean, you ain't going to eat. You might not live well, but you don't have to be there. And even on the job, I've told you, I've been on some jobs. I got into it with some managers coming at me wrong. Because I was like, I don't need your money like that. You're going to respect me. So, but that's your power. So I want y'all to think about that though, okay? I want you to think about it. Being a man ain't just being some biological male. You got the necessary equipment. It's about understanding that you have great power. You have great power, or you need to be working towards it. And you have a responsibility to use that power well. All right? So that's all I have for today. I'll get back with y'all. Well, y'all always say that. Y'all know I'll probably hit y'all with a car video. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all. Peace and blessings.